What's good, everyone? Welcome back to FaShaun episode 22. Today we're going to be reviewing and focusing on an article of clothing from a brand particularly that has seen better days. However, they did popularize, and kind of the foundation of their brand, they popularized a piece of clothing that now is used worldwide. Of course, today, we're going to be talking about the trench coat, specifically this one from Burberry. Let's get into it. All right, I don't have the most amount of room in my condo, so you're going to have to excuse this space and thing here, but as you can see, check throughout. This one specifically was made in Scotland. Of the three lines is Brit, London, and Prorsum. This one is a Prorsum product here. You can see it's just on the flag here. It's not specifically has its own tag, which is great because Prorsum back in the day, I don't think they have it now, was their runway line. So this was a pretty cool find, and also of course made in England. So the real deal. A little bit different of a silhouette, shorter on the sleeves, which I kind of like, a bit more of a summer trench coat. Could wear it in the winter if you want to layer it up, and I have, but not really necessary. Brown leather accents, which is always a great touch. So it's kind of classic, yet more of a contemporary kind of model. Buttons clasped throughout. This little gun flap. You can take this away. There's a button back here, you can put this back in. Same thing here, you can bring this over as well. And so there's a lot of functionality with it to go alongside the sort of pleated tail here. Tons of pockets, looks really, really good. And I think they make the best trench coats, and there's a reason for that, so we'll get into it. So the Burberry trench coat was primarily made for military applications and trench warfare in the world wars. Over time, the function, as with nylon, wartime inventions made their way into the general public use. The trench coat was one of them. And maybe, I think there's an old newspaper article from the early 1900s. Maybe I can post that here so you can see. But they're known for being waterproof. There's the way that the fabric is weaved, and then there's a coating on top. Essentially makes the water bead off. Is it as functional as newer products like Gore-Tex? No, but is it more stylish? Yes, and I think it's designed a little bit better as well, and it's more formal. So if you want to take it to work or to maybe that nice dinner, you can do that versus showing up in an Arc'teryx Gore-Tex jacket at the cocktail bar, which maybe you do. I don't know nowadays. So you have that. This one specifically, I found. Actually, I would say my buddy. Shout out to you, Tim. He found it in Japan, and I was able to pick this up. I think I paid $150 for this. Nothing. If you want to buy vintage Burberry trench coats, which I always recommend, we'll see the market analysis. Go to Japan, have it on your list of things to buy. You're going to find tons of them there. This one specifically was a great find by my buddy because it is, again, a Prorsum line, which means it was runway. There is leather accents. There is a belt on the back here. So you can tie it up should you wish. Super windproof, really waterproof. Fabric feels great on the skin, and it has that heritage honey check that we all like to see. I'm not the biggest fan of branding, as you guys know, but there are ways to do it subtly. Inside lining is one of them, which is totally fine as long as it's not draped all over the outside. They do sometimes here. But I would say when looking at this, that this is likely the best type of garment that you could buy from any brand. So if you were buying a trench coat, I wouldn't go Loewe, I wouldn't go Givenchy or Balenciaga as they have them. I would go Burberry because they make them the best. They make them super functional as well. It's not just about style, it's about, you're paying for the function. And this will give it to you. Going over into the purchase rationale, honestly, I needed a trench coat. I wanted a trench coat. I worked at Burberry before, actually, 10 years ago. And even then, nothing came in that really struck my fancy. So I was looking for one for a long time, and then we ended up finding this one in Japan. But it's likely a coat that if you just want one coat, as in literally one coat to rule them all, it would be this. It would be the trench coat, specifically from Burberry, because it's stylish, it's functional, you can get it repaired, there's a lot of services for them because they're well known in the style space and the fashion space. That's why it made sense to buy one or want to buy one, and especially $150. What are you gonna do? What you get? There's more expensive coats at H&M, you know. So definitely, if you're also in the mood and you're willing to spend the money on a Burberry trench or any trench coat, you should get it from Burberry though. Wait for Japan. In the market analysis, as you know, we go cheap, mid-market, expensive, and starting off with the cheap category, what I am gonna say is I wouldn't go this route. I usually actually recommend cheap before, but I wouldn't go this route because the only retailers I can see that has a good design, is kind of functional, but the materials are bad. The proportions are good, but the materials are bad. Is Uniqlo. So any Uniqlo U trench coat or just Uniqlo functional trench coat will work. COS makes a good one. It's about $100. So the Uniqlo is about $150. COS is about $250 to $300 depending on where you are in the world. And both are great if you want something new. But again, I bought this for $150, so it's the same price as the Uniqlo jacket. This is a full Burberry runway jacket. I bought it for $150, right? So cheap is not the category, at least for trench coats, that I would go with. For the mid-market, again, this is what I'm gonna reco is other vintage Burberry trench coats. So there are some trench coats, I see them on eBay, they're a bit too expensive, like $800, $500. You don't need that. Go to a luxury reseller consignment store. You'll probably find them for a little bit cheaper, but still kind of expensive. If you have that, again, you have that trip to Japan coming up, buy it there. Buy it there. Simply because they have so many that their supply is so high that their demand is low. And so they always price it super, super cheap. And if you're in the US or Canada or Europe, your dollar goes really far there. So I would definitely hold up some space in your luggage if you have space and bring back a trench coat. For the expensive category, as usual, I don't recommend expensive, but if you want something a bit more high fashion, I have the Loewe trench coat. I think out of all of them, it looks the best. It looks the best. I'll say that right here now. And it's also like $5,000, you know? So is that really worth it to spend that money? Even if you had the money, is it something that you're gonna reach for a lot in your closet? No, it's probably a bad purchase. You know this, I know this. You can spend 1/10 that, literally, or less than 1/10 that, and get a vintage Burberry trench. In fact, there are other Burberry trenches that are just as expensive that are also functional, but that don't look as good. So if you want something that looks good, want something that not a lot of other people will have, definitely I feel that the Loewe trench coat is good. I think Bottega makes one that's really good as well, but again, another like $5,000 coat. You don't need that. You can spend the $5,000, go to Japan with accommodations and airfare, and then take the rest of the money and go vintage shopping, and you'll get one of these alongside everything else, right? So definitely go vintage. Okay, we are on the last portion of the video. So now we're gonna go style this, see what it feels like, see what I can do with it. I love styling this coat because you can do it in so many different ways, but let me show you one that I particularly like. Okay, we have the Adder era hat, the Comme des Garçons striped shirt with the Valentino vintage silk tie, a vintage Wrangler trucker jacket, the Burberry trench, of course, a vintage belt that you can't really see, but it's the same color as the boots, the Studio Nicholson denim that I got, and then some vintage Fry, I think the campus boot in red. Okay, here's the fit. I love it. It's sunny outside and mild for the first time in Toronto. I can't wait to go outside in this after this video. But you can see here that we're going to be layering a little bit, still kind of nippy outside. But we're going to be using my proprietary framework to style anything and everything, otherwise known as FCP, fit, contrast, and proportion. So let's start off with fit. Fit, as I say, is the easiest to get right. You know what's going to work well on your body versus what doesn't, right? So over here, this is a nice cropped Wrangler jacket, right? So it's loose on the body, the knitwear is loose. I even have a looser shirt underneath. The only point of tension or tightness on my body is simply this belt. So the belt is cinched right at my waist, not at my hips, just to give a little bit of that hourglass shape to complement the denim. And then I've softened the hourglass a little bit with what I call a fashion forward silhouette, which we'll get into in that portion of the framework. But everything here fits me nice. I'm not, besides the belt, nothing else is tight, right? So everything looks good, everything looks flowy, I look comfortable, good to go. As a side note, I would have added some sunglasses because it's warm out, but a little bit of an eye infection, so don't want to put in contacts, but the hat will do. So yeah, in terms of fit, everything A-okay. Secondarily, we have contrast. This is contrast in colors or contrast in textures. The golden rule with this is to complete the circle, meaning to have flow and harmony throughout the outfit. If you, for example, have brown honey on one part, so this brown thick of a circle, half of it is now filled, brown honey. Now we have, with the vest as well, also different shade but same color, brown honey, beige honey, let's call it. You've completed the other half of the circle now. So you've completed the circle in brown. So you want to do that. You want to have, if you have one color in your body, you gotta essentially add it on somewhere else so that it just has a good flow and it doesn't draw attention to one part of your body, which to me is a faux pas. I don't think you should do it. So let's get into it. Blue and white here, blue and white on the hat, completed the circle, blue of course on the denim, and then even the stitching on the denim has this sort of richer beige kind of honey color, which is fantastic, so it goes along with everything. The tie is red, reddish brown boots, reddish brown belt, even the brown leather on the trench coat matches. So this entire outfit completes the circle on multiple different colors, okay? And that's what you want. You want to have that harmony throughout the entirety of the fit. Next we have contrast and textures. This one's gonna be easy. There's denim here, completed the circle on denim, and everything else is low pile. Low pile, even like the knit is a low pile, so it doesn't bring too much attention to it. And so in terms of completing the circle on textures, this one's good. Lastly, we have proportion. As I say, proportion is the hardest to get right. You know what works well on your body versus what doesn't. So similar to fit, I should say, I guess it's a kind of like a repeat of fit. However, you have to know so well with proportion that if there was a big spotlight behind me and I was just a black silhouette, what does it look like? So if I were to take this off, the proportion changes, right? So it would be more of an hourglass proportion, which is what I always say to leverage if you're just getting into it. But I've softened that hourglass with this long, nice Burberry trench, giving me more of a rectangular proportion, which is a bit more of a fashion-forward proportion. It's high in silhouette, it hides your figure a little bit and focuses more on the clothing. So you can use triangles, upside down triangles, any shape that exists naturally in the wild will be beautiful to other people and to humans and to people you love and care about and the people that you want to influence. So proportion is really, really important. Just make sure you're leveraging a shape that everybody notices and sees in the wild and then thinks is beautiful. But that's it, guys. Thank you so much. This is episode 22. 23 will come out next week. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.